Hey, gang. Welcome to El Nido, the most visited city in the Philippines. With its Insta-Perfect waters, beaches, and beautiful cliffs, El Nido is a must-do in the Philippines. Or is it? Has it become too busy? Is it still as enjoyable? In this little video, I'll show you the highlights of my 4 days in El Nido. At daytime, El Nido Town can actually seem fairly quiet, because most people are gone island hopping. The main part of El Nido is divided into two sections, El Nido Town and Corong on this side. Corong is a beautiful beach with a lot of modern resorts on the seafront. El Nido is located at the top of Palawan Island. The municipality of El Nido itself has 45 islands, when the country of the Philippines have over 7,000 in total. That is why one of the main tourist attractions in El Nido is to book those island hopping to go and explore those very many islands and their beautiful views. And at sunset, everyone is back and they pretty much all gather at the same spot, Las Cabañas Beach. It's a long, wide, sandy beach with bars, although it's actually 3 different beaches: Vanilla Beach, Mering Beach, and Las Cabañas Beach. It gets very busy. It's basically like a giant photo shoot, with lots of people taking photos for their social media, dozens of drones flying over you, and of course, some YouTubers like me. And one old tree. This is the Mering tree that gave his name to the beach. Now, if you like cocktails on the beach and meeting people from all over the globe, this might be absolutely perfect for you. Compared to the rest of the locations I have explored in the Philippines, El Nido was the most expensive one. A lot of businesses are actually owned by foreigners. So if you spend a lot of time in El Nido drinking imported alcohol, you could actually spend quite a bit of money here. The area has seen a dramatic change in the last 10 years or so, potentially massively due to Instagram and other social media, because the area is indeed particularly photogenic. You also have an impressive zip line going all the way from Las Cabañas to Depeldet Island. That looks fun. We didn't have time to do it though. El Nido also has a great nightlife. So if you want to get a bit tipsy and meet a lot of holidaymakers from everywhere across the globe, you're in for a treat. Remember though, you're not allowed to smoke in public places. You could end up with a penalty fare and even 4 days of community services. But you can smoke inside the clubs. That's weird. So on our second day, we went island hopping. In terms of island hopping, they have 4 different circuits: A, B, C, D. It can be a bit overwhelming and a bit difficult to make a decision on which to do. But I would say if you manage to meet any people in your hotel or make new friends anywhere, you're probably better off booking a private tour with them. That is what we did. We met a few people in Port Barton, backpackers that were also coming to El Nido next, so we actually booked a private tour together. It was quite a few of us, so it was pretty much the same price as a group tour. And that allows you to leave a little bit earlier. So once you reach the destinations, you'd be there before the rest of the boats, at least for the beginning of the day. And also, they are not meant to, but you could ask to mix A and B or C and D, for example. You'll see some amazing locations like Big Lagoon, Secret Lagoon, Seven Commodore Beach, Secret Beach is this one here. Officially, though, I think the municipality doesn't allow them to mix A and B, so you might want to be discreet about that. Anyway, although El Nido is massively touristy, you can still find some traditional places like this one here, where the locals come and gamble. Filipinos are very much into gambling. Apparently that's why often in a relationship the women are in charge of the money, so the men don't come and gamble it all. And I'm not sure if they have any age limit. I've seen some young boys playing with money. I've even seen one of those little pop-up next to a school, so that's probably allowed. The next day we rented scooters to go and explore the beautiful beaches towards the east. Apparently you need to be careful with knickknacks. They are tiny little sand mites that can bite your legs. It could be very itchy, and I suppose some people could have allergies. Look what those kids are playing. Baseball. You can see the American influence. Of course, the Philippines used to be an American colony. They also play a lot of basketball. This is Nakpan Beach, a beautiful white long beach. If you are particularly lucky, there's a hotel there that raises baby turtles, and they actually release them into the ocean every so often at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Sadly, they didn't do it on the day we were there. And like pretty much everywhere in the Philippines, you'll find a lot of little furry friends everywhere. Now let's talk about food. Of course, you have a lot of amazing restaurants everywhere, but El Nido can be a little bit pricey, and we were on a budget. So the best way is to go out of town and find those little eateries where the locals would go. Some of the street food was very interesting as well, like this gentleman selling some kind of sweet jelly drink, hot, from the back of his scooter. It was interesting. It's with tapioca and I didn't actually expect it to be hot. So you'll find a lot of great street food everywhere. And behind the church, there's also a street with a lot of barbecues. So you can have grilled meat or grilled seafood for very, very decent prices. For example, a big squid and rice for 200 pesos. At the time of filming, so that is February 2024, El Nido is still very much enjoyable. It is busy, but it's not overcrowded yet. Of course, if you prefer locations that are much more traditional and where the locals can actually afford to live, then it might not be for you. You can see some 4-story buildings being built, so I don't know what it will be like in a few years around here. The next day, we went for another island hopping. So this is everyone on the beach waiting for their boats, and you'd have people coming to sell you waterproof bags. You probably want to have one because sometimes you'd have to walk quite far into the water to reach your boat. Especially if you're quite short like myself, you might get quite wet. For this island hopping, we booked Tour B because we had already done a mix of Tour A and C in the private tour we did 2 days earlier. So that one was not private, that one was a group tour, and it was absolutely fine as well. Although it is very busy, thousands of people take those tours every day, it's fairly well organized, so you don't get, in places overcrowded. Or at least we didn't. And you can go and see those amazing places, like the Cathedral Cave. I am amazed to see how the vegetation, those little trees, can grow on the rocks, no earth. It is because those rocks are very mineralized, so the trees are literally sucking the minerals out of the rock. For the island hopping in El Nido, by the way, bring some water with you. They won't be giving you any water on board because basically people complained of food poisoning. They believed whatever they got was in the water. It is a shame because I suspect some people might confuse the symptoms of food poisoning with heat stroke. Because some people stay in the sun all day, get burned, and then in the evening they wonder why they're vomiting. Well, this is exactly the symptoms of a heat stroke. All those island hopping, they include an amazing lunch. You'll have the food on the beach or sometimes on the boat. The food is not cooked on the boat here, it comes straight from a restaurant. Again, because people complained of food poisoning. And if you do not have enough drinks, don't worry. Those gentlemen on a little canoe, they come around. And they'll try to sell you water, beer, or coconut, or even coconut with rum. The island hopping excursions, you don't need to buy anything ahead. You'll get a much better price buying them the day before in the village. If you happen to be a backpacker and you're planning on a day-to-day basis, you might want to book your hostels though. We met a few people that were struggling to find some last-minute ones. Oh, no smoking! I love the occasional typos. El Nido, by the way, means the nest. If you know a little bit of Spanish, you might know that. Of course, the Philippines were a Spanish territory for quite a while, so you still have a little bit of Spanish language in the local languages. It is known as the nest because in between those amazing limestone cliffs, there used to be, and they still are today, some little nests that are actually edible. They are swiftlets' nests. They are made with saliva from the bird, and the Chinese used to love them. It is still considered a delicacy today and can sell for up to $3,000 a kilo. Gentlemen known as bachadors used to climb in the cliffs to collect those tiny little nests. Full of health benefits, apparently. You'll see in many places in the Philippines, the cemeteries have a prime location, literally on the beach like this one here. And if you go inside, careful. Those stray dogs were fiercely protecting their dead. They didn't let me in. I had to turn around. I love dogs, but not when they're barking at me. I get scared. Another fun thing to do in El Nido village, it is the Canopy Walk. The starting point is right in the center of the village, and it's not too expensive. It's about 300 pesos. You'll be equipped with a harness and a little helmet. It's not very scary at all. And then you can climb up to have an amazing view between those cliffs. Those fantastic cliffs, very typical to northern Palawan, they are actually due to tectonic and erosion. And they still go up about 1 centimeter a year. You can actually fairly safely build on the cliffs. We are no longer on the ring of fire like some of the islands in the Philippines, so no earthquakes. When you get to the top, the view is simply amazing. And that was the end of my 3.5 days in El Nido. After that, I went to the ferry terminal to catch a boat to go towards Korong. If you're traveling by ferry yourself, you might want to reach the ferry terminal a bit early, because you first have to go to the company that booked you to get a paper ticket. Then you need to queue in the sun to pay the terminal fee. And then they might ask you to line up your luggage for the dogs to come and smell it. Not sure if the dogs are sniffing for explosives, drugs, or cheeses, but I had none of the above, and they spent a bit too long on my bag. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little video. If you wanted to see a bit more of me, check out my live section. Most of what I do on YouTube is actually live streaming. Bye!